Hello everyone, I Jhalak Patel from LJ Institute of Engineering and Technology in the Department of Electronics and Communication. Welcomes you to the session of electromagnetic theory. Today we are going to discuss about Unit 2, that is steady magnetic field with topic Stokes theorem, example and magnetic force. So let's start the session. First of all, consider this problem statement, that is verify Stokes theorem for the field h bar is equal to 6xy ax bar minus 3y square ay bar and a rectangular path around the region, that is x is in between 2 to 5 and y is in between minus 1 to 1, z is equal to 0. So here one plane is constant, that is z. So as we have already discussed about the Ampere's general laws point form, that you have created one rectangular path. So here also one rectangular path will be created by varying the limit of x and y. That limit is 2 to 5 and y limit is from minus 1 to 1. Okay. So here this rectangular path will create one Stokes theorem, that is surface integration of del cross h ds is equal to integration h dot dl. You have to do this mathematical statement. So for proving this mathematical statement, let's draw the figure from using these two limits, x is in between 2 to 5 and y is in between minus 1 to 1. Okay, so as you can see here, x and y axis are the 2 to 5 is the limit of x, so 2 to 5, and minus 1 to 1 is the limit of y, that is minus 1 to 1. So if you join this, it will create one rectangle, and from rectangle you can see that there are total 4 parts are there. So a to b, b to c, c to d and d to a are there. So first of all, let's do it for del cross h ds. So for calculating surface integration of del cross h ds, you need to find out first curl of vector h. Now you have in the problem statement, if you see this, here in this problem statement you have two components in the x direction and in the y direction, but you do not have a component in a z direction. So the hz is 0 and del by del z is 0. So hx and hy are there, so you have to put the value of hx and hy over here. So if you put that, hx is 6xy and hy is minus 3y square. So the statement, the mathematical equation will become like this, because the remaining terms will become 0 if you solve this determinant. So only az component is there. If you solve that, then del by del x of minus 3y square, partial differentiation of y term becomes 0 and partial differentiation with respect to y term is 6x in this second term. So the remaining is minus 6x az bar del cross h. So now surface integration of del cross h ds is from, for this you have to do with respect to z equal to constant surface area. So with respect to z equal to constant surface area, you have to change the limit of x and y. So x is changing from 2 to 5 and y is changing from minus 1 to 1. Now we have the answer for del cross h. So you have to put it over here, that is minus 6x az. Now with z equal to constant, for Cartesian system x and y is changing. So for if x and y are changing, then the limit is dx, dy and z, as you can see in this. So here you have to integral with respect to x as well for with respect to y. Now az dot az will becomes 1. So if you do the integration of x is x square by 2 and limit is 2 to 5. Same way, there is no term of y present, so integration of 1 is y and limit is from minus 1 to 1. So if you solve this, you get the answer, that is minus 126 ampere. Now let's solve it for left hand side. For the left hand side, you have to solve the integration h dot dl. Now for the integration h dot dl, you have to calculate all the 4 parts, that is from a to b, b to c, c to d and d to a. Okay. So let's do it for the left hand side. So as I discussed, you have to solve the 4 different integral and then you have to add them. So first for the a to b part, so for this you have to refer this figure here. For a to b part, if you see the limit that is changing is for the x axis, it is changing from 2 to 5. For the d to c, the vertical path is there and the limit is changing. B means vertical y-axis, B limit is -1 and C limit is 1. So for B to C path, limit is -1 to 1. For C to D means the maximum limit is 5 and from 5 to 2. So for C to D it will be 5 to 2, and D to A means 1 to -1. Okay, but one thing that is common is for A to B. If you see this line A to B, then at that line A to B, the magnitude of y is constant and that magnitude is -1. For B to C, magnitude of x is constant. So when you do the integration from B to C, if there is one term of x present, you have to put that as x equal to 5. If you are solving C to D, then in C to D, x-axis is changing from 5 to 2, but one axis that is common or constant is y. From C to D, y equal to 1. Okay. Similarly, for D to A means obviously y-axis is changing and limit is 1 to -1, but one axis that is constant is x-axis, so you have to put x equal to 2 over there. Okay, so this is how you have to take the integration limit, as well as you have to keep one axis as constant when you are integrating with respect to the other axis. Okay, so let's do it for the first integral part, that is integration from a to b h dot dl. So for a to b h dot dl, as I say, x-axis is changing, that's why dx dx, and before that y equal to -1. For all the four cases, z equal to 0, that because that is given in the problem statement. Now for B to C means y changing but x is constant, x equal to 5. For C to D, x is changing but y is constant. Same way for D to A, y is changing but x is constant, that is 2. So this is how you have to take the limit of integration. Now let's do it for A to B 2 to 5. H bar dot dl bar. H bar is given in the problem statement, that is 6x bar ax bar minus 3y square ay bar into dx ax. If you solve this, because ay dot ax becomes 0, you need not write this term, you have to only write dx dot ax because it is 1. So if you solve this, you get the answer -63 by doing the integration. Same way, you have to do B to C integration h dot dl. Again, you have to put the value of h bar, and here in B to C, which x is changing? X is changing is dy. So for dy, you have to do the integration, and here you have to keep one x is constant. So with respect to y square integration is y cubed by 3, and you have to put the limit. You will get -2. Same way for the third part, C to D means 5 to 2, 6xy dx y equal to 1 and z equal to 0. So the limit for the third part of integration is -63. Similarly for D to A, -1 to -1, but for this you have to keep x is constant, x is 2 and z is 0. So if you are doing the integration, you get the answer 2. So this is how you can solve all the four different parts of integration, that is the part of rectangular. Okay, so now you have to add all the four parts, that is integration h dot dl. So -63, -2, -63 and +2. So that is -126 ampere. So this is equal to our left hand side. So this is how Stokes theorem will be proved. Now let's talk about the next topic, that is magnetic forces. Now force due to moving charge can be due to either electric field or magnetic field. Now we all know that according to Coulomb's law, force is given by q square upon r square ar bar, and field intensity is given by q upon r square ar bar. Okay, so if you want to do the relationship between force and electric field, then definitely you will say that Fe is equal to q into E. Okay, so this is the relation between force and electric field intensity when force is due to this electric field. Okay, but now what happens when force is due to magnetic field? So at that point, if you see in this figure, that force is due to some velocity, that is denoted by v bar, due to magnetic flux density, that is v bar. Okay, so now force is due to this all quantity, and it is given by Fm, capital F, and you have to do the subscript small m. Fm denotes our force due to magnetic field. So Q into V cross D, velocity is V bar, and d bar is magnetic flux density. Okay, so now total force is due to the both, due to electric as well as due to magnetic field. So it is Fe plus Fm, that is QE plus QV cross B. So total force can be calculated. So this total equation of force is called as Lorentz force equation. So this theory can also be asked as explain Lorentz force equation. So you have to explain about the electric as well as for the magnetic field. Okay. Let's see one example related to it. Consider the problem statement that a charge of 10 nanocoulomb is moving around the path with a velocity of 10 raised to 7 into minus 0.5 ax plus ay minus 0.71 az meter per second. Determine the F bar on a tensed charge when V bar is applied. V bar is given milliweber per meter square, E bar, and you have to also find when V bar and E bar are applied simultaneously. So first, let's calculate when only V bar is applied. Now when only V bar is applied, now V bar is magnetic flux density. That means it is asked that you have to find the Fm. And in the second case, E bar is given. Now E bar is electric field intensity. That means it is asked for electric force. And in the third case, V bar and E bar both are applied simultaneously, means it is asked for total Lorentz force equation. Okay. So let's do it for the first case, that is Fm is equal to Q into V cross B. We have all the values. Charge is our 10 nanocoulomb. Velocity is this 10 raised to 7 into minus 0.5 ax plus ay minus 171 az. Cross V bar is our flux density. Here cross product is there. So if you want to solve this cross product, you have to use the determinant. Whatever the terms that are constant in this, you have to take it out of the determinant term, and rest will be like ax, ay, az, and the remaining two are the coefficient like this. Minus 0.5, 1, minus 0.7, 1, 2, and 3. If you solve this, it will get minus 10 raised to minus 4, 4.42 ax plus 0.79 ay minus 2 az. This is how we can calculate the magnetic force. If it is asked for magnitude, then you have to do the square root and square of the individual term. This is how you can do it. For the Fe means electric force. Electric force is Q into E. So charge is given, that is 10 nanocoulomb, and electric field intensity is 3 ax plus 2 ay plus az into 10 raised to 3. If you solve this, it will be in micronewton. But if you want a magnitude, then again you have to take the square root and square of individual component, that is 30 square plus 20 square plus 10 square. So now due to both electric and magnetic, so you can use the Lorentz force equation, or simply you have to add the magnetic as well as the electric force. So if you do this, it will be like this. So this is our final answer for Lorentz force equation. Okay. So up to this, if you have any doubt or queries regarding this session, you can ask me on my email ID. Thank you for watching.